for joining me again in this video series on how to stop cyber criminals and protect yourself, your business, and your employees. Today we're going to be talking about a topic, antivirus, and how it's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. So, antivirus has always been the way that we've protected our business from cyber criminals. We've stopped viruses from getting into our computer, malware, which is malicious software, trojans, which is things that will track what we're typing and send it off to other people, as well as things that can redirect our web browsers and all the different negative things that are viruses. But the fact of the matter is that antivirus has been around for a long time and it hasn't changed. Cybercrime has changed drastically over the past 20 years. So why hasn't antivirus kept pace? Well, let me start by explaining how antivirus works. Basically, what antivirus does is it sits on your machine, right? Here's your computer, and here's antivirus, a little happy little antivirus. And every time you get a file, you open it, you download it, you change it, it's going to scan that file or scan on a regular schedule, depending on what antivirus you have. And what it's doing is it's calling out to a big old database of every known virus. And it's checking that database and going, is this one, is this one, is this one, is this one? That's why it takes so long and it slows down your computer. Ugh. You know what this reminds me of? And that may seem young, but I've used these. You know those credit card things that you go and you use your credit card and shunk, right? They put the carbon copy down, they make a carbon copy of your credit card. And then what they would do is they would go take that carbon copy and go through a huge book and make sure that the card was legitimate, right? Well, that's what antivirus is doing. It's taking all your files and going through that code. But here's why antivirus is like bringing a knife to a gunfight. Because here's the scary thing. In a computer, you have a hard drive, right? A hard drive is where you have all your information stored. And the hard drive is basically a big platter disk, or now a solid state, it's no moving parts, that stores all your files. And what antivirus is doing is checking all the ones and zeros that are on that drive, all the files, and comparing it to this huge database. Well, the problem with that is new threats are getting around this. What they're doing is they're changing their definitions. They're making it so, in 30 seconds they can make that virus look like something different, so it won't get caught by antivirus, right? The other thing they're doing is they're not storing the virus on your hard drive. They're storing it in memory, which memory, if you think about it, is like your short-term memory in your brain. It's where things that you're currently working on are stored. Or they're storing it inside a file so it can't be detected. Or inside a script so it can't be detected. Right? So how is regular old antivirus going to protect from people changing the information about their virus, storing it in memory, or storing it inside a file? It's not. And then there's new type of virus out there called ransomware. And what ransomware does is it basically encrypts this entire hard drive and basically scrambles up all the ones and zeros so you can't read any of that data. So how is that being protected by antivirus? If antivirus is scanning this computer, all antivirus is going to do is, well, it looks like you got no files left, so you're safe. Right? So what do? If antivirus, what we've all used forever, doesn't protect from any of these new threats? Well, that's why you want to get something called advanced antivirus. So I'm going to put that in black here, right? Advanced antivirus can protect from all of these things. It doesn't sit and run a regular scan on your machine. It's constantly watching for irregularities. Not for definitions, but for regularities. If it senses that something's running in memory and changing something over here, it's going to stop it, it's going to look at it, it's going to send it off to be checked, it's going to quarantine your computer, take it off the network so it can't infect everything else, and then clean it up, bring it back on the network, and give you a full rundown of what happened. In a matter of seconds, it will do that. So one of the big benefits, not only does it protect this stuff, but it doesn't slow down your machine because of the way that it works. It's also going to check for irregularities in your files. If the files start all changing because you got hit by ransomware and it's locking down all these files, then it's going to check for those things as well. It's going to take the computer offline so that ransomware doesn't spread. It's going to check it. It's going to quarantine it, roll it back if it needs to, and bring it back online. So the cool thing about advanced antivirus is it's not bringing a knife to a gunfight. It's using artificial intelligence and scanning for irregularities and being smart about it. Heck, it's bringing a drone to a gunfight, right? So what should you do, essentially, if you are using antivirus? How should you protect yourself from these new threats? Well, I'd recommend looking into advanced antivirus. There's just a handful of them out there. It's a newer technology. We use one called SentinelOne. We absolutely love it. And what we do for our clients is we deploy it and then we monitor it 24/7. So if something happens, even in the middle of the night, we're monitoring and maintaining that and taking care of that for you. So really, the whole thing to know about this, the ransomware, the new types of attacks, is that the antivirus you have on their computer, and quite frankly, that's why a lot of them are free now, make sure it can protect from all of these things, and that it's not just scanning your files and comparing it to a big old dictionary, that it's actively checking for irregularities, checking what's on your hard drive, in memory, in scripts, and protecting your business from these newer threats. Of course, if you have any questions or would like to talk to us about SentinelOne or any of these other solutions, feel free to reach out to me. My phone number and email address are down below. And I hope you enjoy this series. I'm really enjoying sharing this information for you, and I hope you join us for the next one. Thank you so much.